So the evening breakdown, this really has to do with relationships. Now in this talk, I'm going to talk about your relationship with a significant other, but you can apply this to a roommate situation or somebody else that you're very close to that you see on a regular basis. Now, I got this tip from Tim Matthews, owner of the Powerful Man Group. Now, the Powerful Man has a website and a Facebook group for you guys. I really recommend you go check it out. There's a lot of valuable information that Tim supplies there. But this evening breakdown is something that I try to apply to my life with my wife, and I want to share that with you. It really comes down to 6 key factors. The first thing is really just creating a space where you can always feel seen and heard. Now, when I talk about that, I'm not just talking about a physical space, right? It could be a kitchen table, and I do recommend that. But it's really creating a safe space, a safe environment where everybody can feel that they can say what's on their mind and what's on their heart, and not feel that they have to be defensive or walk on eggshells. You know, look, if personal development's new to you, especially relationship development, you might find it very easy to be defensive and not even know it. And maybe people don't feel comfortable talking to you. And if that describes you and you've worked on this, then you need to take that back a notch and understand that they still recognize your old ways of being. It's up to you to create that safe space over and over and over again. So once you've created this safe space, what do? Well, then you ask your partner, hey, did anything come up for you today? Like, tell me about your day. Did anything come up? Was there something important? What happened? Also, did I trigger you in any way? Now, if you're not familiar with what a trigger is, it's something definitely worth studying. We'll cover it in another daily growth hack or maybe even a deeper dive. But essentially, a trigger is something that happens when you initially react. You jump, you get angry, defensive, something along those lines. So you want to ask your partner, hey, did I trigger you in any way? And that way you can solve those triggers right away. Because triggers usually are some reaction that somebody says or does something that really triggers you due to a past emotional experience. Something usually happened when you're a child that you've taken into adulthood. Extremely common. Once you know how to recognize triggers, you're going to see them everywhere. So did I trigger you in any way? And then another question, hey, what are your celebrations for today? Like, what are the big celebrations, the big accomplishments? My wife and I always talk about, hey, what are the 3 best things that happened to you today? It's a common question we have on our couch. Tell me about the 3 best things. Oftentimes in our society, especially if you watch the news and you have all this negative media, people are always talking about, oh, this is the bad things that happen. Well, just as easy as it is to talk about the bad things that happen, you can get in a situation where you're constantly thinking about all the good things that happen. And once you get into this pattern, your life begins to change. You start to see good things rather than all the bad. Now, another question you say are, gee, how are your goals progressing? Like, how are the things that you're working on, the things that you're passionate about progressing? All too often in relationships, what seems to happen is you just lose sight of those. You have a partner and you know that their goals were 3, 5, 6, 10 years ago, but maybe you haven't talked to them about what their goals are this week, this month. Maybe even you haven't talked about it in years. What are their dreams? Just like you, their goals and dreams and aspirations change all the time and are ever flowing. Check in with them to see how it's going for them. Then also, how can I support you? Or how can I even support you more tomorrow? What can I do to be on your team? In fact, I don't even want to be on your team. I want to be your MVP. How can I support you? What can I do for you? And the last question I ask is like, hey, if we lived like this every single day, would we experience everything we're worthy and capable of experiencing? That's a question. I pause on purpose because that's a question that most people don't think about. Look, if you lived every day like you did today, if you're driving your car, if it's early in the morning and you're listening to this, or you're watching this at work, wherever you are, think about yesterday or think about what's happened previously. If you lived every day like today, would you be experiencing everything you're worthy and capable of experiencing? Now, this question gets me almost every time. And I say almost because I really work hard on it. But sometimes I notice, you know what? It's not. And this is what I need to do to move forward. And then I share that with my partner because you remember the previous question was, how can I support you more tomorrow? Now, if my partner's not experiencing everything that she is worthy and capable of experiencing, I want to know how I can support her so she can do that. Every day should be a life worth living. And that's why we want to make it. So this is your evening breakdown. And again, I just want to say, use this with a partner if you have one. If not, think about another loved one you do. This is something you can do, check in every night, or you can do it as a Sunday wrap up. So Sunday, you can also use this as a check-in for the week. It really depends on what's best for you. I love it, and I hope you will too. That's it for me today. Remember, go over to authorofyourownstory.com. Make sure you take our free 7-day course on how to be the author of your own story, and sign up for our newsletter so you can get the latest updates, tips, and tricks delivered just to your email inbox.
I have a question for you. What if you could transform your life for the better in just 90 days? Would you do it? Our 90-Day Game is an online program and community created for people like you who are ready to make a shift and take those dreams and goals they've been talking about for years and turn them into a reality within 90 days. Go to authorofyourownstory.com/90-day-game and turn your goals into reality. And don't forget to be the author of your own story.